right, so you see it, Afro-Asiatic?
Hold on. I'm gonna look it up on my phone too, so I have it close. Oh yeah, I see it. I see it.
Y'all started.
No, go to the UNESCO one first. The UNESCO one.
Which one?
The one I told you about first. It said now Valley settlements. Oh, he just hit me up. I'm gonna send him a link.
She live. So uh, peace and love to the audience. Team
Yeah,
O.S.I.R.I.S on the horizon.
peace and love, family. You know what I'm saying? Team O.S.I.R.I.S on the horizon. MOB, you know what I'm saying? Mali of Babylon in the building. Street Sufis, we here.
Yes,
All
sir.
day. We on the move.
Supposed to
So
have
we
a
got my
discussion.
brother. Yeah, we've been
Supposed to
having a
have a
nice
discussion with
discussion.
Chief X.
Yeah, we have yes, it's gonna be a powerful discussion with Brother Chief X and my brother Delagishi. We'll be talking about the origins of Egypt. You know, everybody's gonna, go back and forth, but this is gonna be an outstanding, beautiful dialogue about what's going on, who were the people in Egypt, who were the people in North Africa. So, just tune in to the audience. Thank those who are listening in. We live now. It's a late nighter. We gonna go what it is. Hey,
I just sent him a link to his phone. You know, if he don't show up, we're gonna continue the show. We're gonna discuss a lot about the peopling of Egypt, the Nile Valley area. You know, who are the people? You know what I'm saying? Their uniqueness. You know what I'm saying? The mixture. Because you did have you had tropical people, and you know what I'm saying. Then you also had people coming back back migrating.
so Gullah
Yeah.
for the audience, brother. A lot of people want to know. You know, some people were presenting that uh, there was no uh, kinky head, what they call kinky head, or so-called sub-Saharan or south of the Sahara equatorial people that were responsible for ancient Egypt, or they wasn't there. Could you explain the group population that made up Egypt and who was there, or were they, uh, or did some of them have the hair texture that some Egyptologists, not even real Egyptologists because they don't do that, but you have people like I'll say Miss Phoenician 77, who's a blatant racist, who's running around here trying to gas my man's up, my brother, even though he have his own opinion, but I see on his in his comment section, and she's getting off on it, because she feel that he's delivering the message that she want her to. But could you explain the groups of people that was in ancient Egypt?
Uh, First of all, the groups, you had different groups that came in from the to Sahara. Even before the Sahara, you had a diversity there. You had a lot of different proto-Nilotic people, and then and also you had a lot of population of northern Afrasian speakers or Afroasiatic speakers, particularly the Beja type. You know what I'm saying? Even the Egyptians, like what we call Egyptians today, they came out of the cluster of these people. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, this Chief X right here, y'all. Oh, yeah. What's up, bro? Yeah, I just seen it. Hold on, what's this YouTube page, y'all? What's the name of this YouTube page, y'all?
Uh, it's my
Tiffany
page,
French.
Tiffany.
What is it?
Tiffany French, if I'm not mistaken.
It's Tiffany French. Yeah. No, we cool, bro. We gotta understand it, man. We good. We just building on information, bro. We you know what I'm saying. We ain't even on that today. We good. No, we just gonna keep it. You know what I'm saying. Keep it cordial, man. You know what I'm saying. I talk to everybody. You know what I'm saying. We gonna keep it cordial, keep it positive. Even Ngozi here too. All right. Yeah, he said he finna come.
Bad. But you was explaining the Afro-Asiatic and population going, the Afro-Asiatic speakers going there in the direction.
Oh yeah, the Northern Afro-Asiatic speakers, particularly people with E3B markers, Y haplogroup E3B markers. You know what I'm saying, migrating into the northern area and breaking off in different different clusters of different groups of tribes. And a lot of people were established, they even mutated right there, you know what I'm saying, in that Mediterranean area, you know what I'm saying, all throughout the Nile Valley and in the Sahara. And a lot of these people were a part of these wild grain collecting populations who later on you know what I'm saying created had a lot to do with the Neolithic revolution, you know what I'm saying, for pastoralism, you know what I'm saying, consistent agricultural practices.
I'm here if you can hear me.
Peace and love, brother
What's
Chief
up with it?
Ed.
Somebody broke up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Peace and love.
Okay, how you doing?
Yeah, we good, man. We just discussing the migration patterns of Egypt, you know what I'm saying, and how the people, you know what I'm saying, where the people came from and the different clusters of people that was there in the diversity. You know what I'm saying, what was going on in the area.
Okay.
What
So
was you, what
yeah,
was you saying, Amir, brother?
so you broke down the EV65. Well, we broke down EM215 coming from the Horn, and we're gonna go through the whole history from pre-dynastic to dynastic to see what are the people in of ancient Egypt to modern Egypt. And modern Egyptians are Egyptians. They are North African. They represent their history. They represent what made up the people since the time of development. So no one denounces that. But what we will bring to the surface is what is a North African? North Africans represent phases. They represent layers. They represent different components that makes up what is a statistical or what we call a North African. For example, if we follow the basis of the phylogenetic tree paternally, we know that EM215 starts in the Horn of Africa or in the Eastern Corridor, east of the Sahara, right? Going into that uh, Eritrean area before leaking out, going north, giving rise to EM35, which give rise to EV65, which give rise to the indigenous aboriginal EM78 paternal marker that most Egyptians have. And if we understand that, in pre-dynastic time to dynastic time, we have an idea of what these early EM78 carriers had before mingling with Neolithic Eurasians that expanded from the Eastern Mediterranean. A good group population that holds on to that phenotype, the morphology, is the Ethio-Somali component / what they call the Coptic component. But even that's tricky. The Ethio-Somalis in the Horn, which has EV32, which is a subclade of that EV12 of EM78, is a good example of what these people look like before intermingling with basal Eurasian, not in basal Eurasian, but Bronze Age populations and Neolithic Eurasians that expanded in. So
Yeah,
this is before dynastic period. This is before you even have Egypt. But Chief X, I think Chief X, if I'm not mistaken, was talking about the time of the dynastic period when the pharaohs and everything developed. And I think we should stick there But I just want the world to know that there is a component south of the Sahara that played a major role in North Africa, because the paternal markers of most North African men had a predecessor root from the south. What they look like, I'll let Gulagichi get into that. But we you know, a lot of those people, I was just saying too, Chief X, about how old the young lady on your comments, Miss Phoenicia 77. I know she don't have anything to do with you, but she act like she's trying to gas you up, even though you got your own mind. She gets off on this shit because according to them, sub-Saharan Africans ain't shit. They ain't never did shit, and they never played a role in anything. And it's not just, I mean, regardless of if sub-Saharan Africans was in Egypt or not, I've been following this lady, going backwards and forth with her for a minute. This lady is a racist. She's anti-black. She's anti-dark skin. She got a problem with even having dark skinned people up there. You know, she's racist. But you know, that's neither here nor there. Well, go ahead, brother Geach.
Oh yeah. But yeah, before the people look like, you know what I'm saying, like you said, that was like an Ethio Somali type people, you know what I'm saying, coming out of the Horn of Africa. You know what I'm saying? Even that, and even them, you know what I'm saying, they come from a proto not Neolithic type people, or Nilo-Saharan type people. You know what I'm saying? But Tristan, can you share that do the screen share of that page that I showed you?
Yeah, brother Trish, if you could you give an example of what the northern Ethiopian look like at a phenotype.com based off the what they say, based off the description, and what role they played in Egypt, as it said, even though we got the articles too.
Yeah, and also too, Chief X, like I know you mentioned like earlier on your video, you had mentioned that we you know what I'm saying, we like Team O.S.I.R.I.S, we do say that, you know what I'm saying, we not Egyptians, but we don't go further and explain it enough. But that's that's what we doing tonight, you know what I'm saying, to let people know, you know what I'm saying, who they were,
Who's this?
you know what I'm
Who's
saying.
speaking?
This Geechee.
Okay.
Yeah, we explaining who they, who they are, who they were, and, you know what I'm saying, the breakdown, you know, how they became who they are today.
So like if I was just like listening to what Ngozi just said, and just say I'm just the normal public, right? I would walk away thinking that the Egyptians had kinky hair and looked like Ethiopians.
No, not really. I get what you're saying. That's why.
No, but I'm just saying when you say that the ancient Egyptians look like Somali Ethiopian type, that's what's in people's head.
No, but look
Another
though,
black man.
I got you. But look though, Chief
No,
X,
but
I said pre-dynastic and before the dynastic period. I was explaining. I said we're going to go back at Neolithic time to explain what made up the population in North Africa.
yeah, and
We can get to the.
you still have those, like, even though they not a majority now, you still have people lingering around that look like that still live in Egypt, like right now. Like
So
you have Beja tribe there are descendants of ancient Egypt. You know, so a lot of them got pushed out of society, even during like the Greco-Roman time. Like they got pushed and became like nomads and shit. Like some of them even like they got pushed into Sudan and shit, and you know what I'm saying, in like the eastern deserts and shit.
You
Also,
have
so you're saying the kinky haired people got pushed into Sudan?
no, because you
no,
never.
That's what he just said. I'm just repeating him.
they're not necessarily kinky hair. Like they all different. Like some of them got kinky hair, some of them got loose curly hair, some of them got
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
They
It's just
got
the culture, the original Egyptian society. You know what I'm saying? Those people got pushed out. You know what I'm saying? Pushed out. The original Egyptians, people that didn't want to fold or deal with, you know what I'm saying, the regime of Christianity and you know what I'm saying, Islam and shit. You know what I'm
They
saying?
got
Even though
pushed out and went where?
a lot of them live in Sudan. You know what I'm saying? Eastern Sudan. Even up shit. Even some of them, the original Egyptian type come out of those Red Sea Hill areas.
so let me
Okay,
let me
when you say they looked like Ethio-Somali, around what time period are you talking about?
well, this population, if I can't see if the brother posted it or not, but if anybody can read it and see what he posted from the article, my analysis based off the population that lived in that area that looked like that goes back to the Jebel Sahaba period, going back 13,000 years. But again, I'm going to say it again, X. This is before dynastic Egypt. This is before the
Okay, so
establishment
I'm
of
just
Egypt.
getting
So,
right.
so,
So
so,
your
so
estimate is around 13,000
no, no,
years.
hold on. Right, but I'm gonna go down a lane though. I'm gonna go down a lane. So between 13, you had two. If anybody could type up Jebel Sahaba or the audience out there, it's the article, 13,000-year-old race war, Jebel Sahaba. It talks about two distinguished populations and phenotype. Talks about one which is called the Afro-Levantine European, which is another nomenclature for the Coptic component or the Ethio-Somali component, and it talks about the other one that had the basic Nilotic feature in the Quran area of that zone,
Okay.
right? So I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go down a lane right quick. So
But
even
real quick though,
mhm,
before you go down the lane,
mhm,
those pictures you just had up, right?
mhm.
The two pictures, the male and the female you had up a second ago, whoever had that up.
That wasn't my that I didn't have, I can't even see the picture. I
Yeah,
can't even see the
right.
picture.
The northern Ethiopia.
Yeah. Okay, they can you guys know what I'm talking about when I say the two pictures, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at them. I mean, come on now, work with me.
Oh yeah. We got them
Tristan,
up
you're
right now.
quiet. Why are you quiet, Tristan? You don't see the pictures? Is Tristan here or what?
Yeah, he put them up. He put the pictures up for
Okay,
me.
what? And Tristan's not responding. Can you hear me, Tristan?
I think your mic, Trish. I think his mic kind of messed up or something.
Yeah,
Okay, let me just.
um,
What I was gonna say is, if a 10-year-old boy seen those two pictures, he's gonna say that's a black man and a black woman.
well,
Well, don't you
wait,
think so, Gullah Geechee?
Of
I
course
mean,
he'll say
yeah,
that,
but
and
they're
that's
different.
okay.
They
Okay,
don't look, but they're
so
very
that's
distinct.
that's what I mean.
They very distinct from
but
West
you gotta,
African people.
but you have to separate the way we use black in America and the way.
No. I get it all. You know, come on, I get all that.
All
I'm
right.
saying just on the strength of a
Uh-huh.
10-year-old boy looking at that, in his mind, he's gonna think that's a black man.
But here's the thing though, Chief X, it's okay because black people were in Egypt. They were in pre-dynastic Egypt. Egyptians don't have
No,
one color. Not even. Let me just say
but
this.
Not
Hold
even
on.
now.
I get you, Chief X. But let
I
me
can
just
show
say
you
this.
pictures of
Hold
pictures.
on. Let me just say this. Even if it's an article. Even if you go into Luxor, those people's skin tone range. They can get as dark as you and me to as light as a Mediterranean person. Modern Egyptians don't really be tripping. The only ones that tripping over this color stuff is them racist ass
no.
North Africans.
No. No. Listen to what I'm saying. It's a difference in the tint of the skin. Okay, Sarah Sudan Seti is a black man. Listen, Sarah Sudan Seti is a black man. It's no question in my mind he's a black man. Okay. Now, if I go to Thailand, there's many people darker than Sarah Sudan Seti, but I wouldn't consider them the black man because I know the tint of the skin. I can tell the tint of the skin. So I'm not talking about color.
But
I'm not talking about color. There's plenty of there's Native Americans darker than me. So I'm not talking about color in that sense. It's a different tint to the color.
So you're saying it's different type of black?
Don't even get no in his skin. He's Arizona. The only reason why he's black. Let me just say this.
And Ngozi's phone is breaking up. And Ngozi, you're really breaking up bad.
No, listen. Let me just say this. If you guys can hear me, Sarah Sunseti is fair skinned as fuck. The reason why we say he's black is because of his robust features, the protruding jawline, the wide nose. But that dude ain't got no damn tinted skin, man. I stood
No,
next
I
to the
know,
brother.
but I
So
understand. But my point is, I'm just saying, if people look at Sarah Sunseti, they're gonna say that's a black man. That's all I'm saying.
because his face, because it's yes,
Okay.
because of the
Yeah,
structure of
Yeah.
his
yeah.
face.
So my
His
point, I'm
mental,
just
his
trying to make
mental
a point.
portion is
I'm not tripping on the color or who's darker. That's not the point. There's what I'm saying is they're Native Americans who are darker than me. But
So
I'm not saying that they're black because their skin is darker. So I'm not on the color thing.
no, so
But
you're
You get
saying
what I'm saying?
so you
let me
saying
ask you a question, Chief.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Let me just say something to everybody. I want to ask you a question. So if a brother from Luxor or North African from Luxor or Howie Berber is like the marketing, they got
You breaking up, bro.
you say, listen, okay,
You in the matrix.
if a man from Luxor, right, or a Sahawi Berber who's a little darker than you but got this unique tint that you speak of, was here in the civil rights time, we was going through what we was going through, what part of the bus would they would have been able to sit on? What part of the bus would they would have been in North America if we got a man from Luxor who had the same color as you, but he had a unique tint? Or we get a Sahawi Berber or Amazique who got this bronze skin color, right? And we was during the time we was going through what we was going through on the bus. What part of the bus would these people would have sat on in North America?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Could y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Chief X dropped out.
Y'all can hear me though?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Trey.
Okay, yeah. I guess it was on mute for a second. I don't know, but yeah, like you can't get. It's deeper than skin tint and skin tone when it comes to the relation of different people groups. Uh, you got different components that go into making this Northern African. So it's not to say that you had guys like you and me, you know what I'm saying, that looked exactly like how we look that was there. But no,
Yeah, because I was gonna break down
people
to
that
him.
share components, you know,
Yeah.
we might share certain components that are related to the bone structure, to muscle development, you know, all these different other qualities other than hair and skin. But even when it comes to the hair and the skin, we know that there's different levels of this kinky hair. So that means that there's common ancestry there. You know what I'm saying? That so there's a sub-Saharan root that then spreads, and then you have these varying degrees of kinky hair that basically contribute to the idea that this is an area of confluence. There is people there that if we saw them today from our standards, we would put them in the category of, okay, that's like a black dude. You know, maybe he looked quite a little bit different, but he looks kind of like a black dude. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the point. Like, it's not about what us in the modern era think about those people. It's based off how they look. It's literally showing the genetic connection, whether it's skeletal, you know, whether it's immune system, you know, all these different aspects of DNA that shows the relation of people that were inhabiting the Sahara area and then migrated, right, and in different various directions, and also mixed with the other groups, you know, that was in them areas, you know. So I mean, really, it's not. It's more simple than what everybody is making it out to be. To me, you know, it really is, because it's not about, you know, bashing Africans, sub-Saharan Africans, as to say you don't have any sort of anything to do with being in that area. Like there was a force field around that area preventing sub-Saharan Africans from doing the mixing that everybody else was doing in that area. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My
And
battery
and
died.
not to mention that everybody is African. So
Yeah.
when you
Because
go
even
back
like,
in the lineage, you're gonna see the relation and where certain groups split off to become Central West Africans, to
oh, let
become,
me try to show. Let me
you
try
know,
to show
so
my
on and
page.
so forth.
Let me try to show my page.
My battery died. Excuse me.
It's all
Oh,
you
okay,
good.
you good,
Bro.
Chief. I'm back on now. I was muted earlier. I heard you. I was showing them Ethiopians, and I like you heard. I just got done explaining. You know,
Now,
one
let me ask you a
component.
question,
It's
Tristan.
only one component of many in that area. You know what I
Let me
mean?
ask you a question, Tristan. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
So, if someone other than a Black American was trying to show a depiction, would they use those pictures, in your opinion,
Show a depiction of what?
of ancient Egyptians?
Of an ancient Egyptian? No, they would
If
probably
some
use something that's not even a real picture. They would use something that's like a 2D, stele or some shit like that to show
Right.
an ancient Egyptian. They wouldn't show an actual person, a reconstruction or something like that.
I
But
have
the
a que-
thing, but the
I
thing,
have
but the thing is, Chief, though, before I'm gonna let you go. But the thing is, it's not about people that can't understand the particulars and the details to understand that it's not saying everybody look like this, right? Those people have to come to that understanding over time, but the people that do study this and know this, they understand the reality versus the myth, that it's not saying everybody look like that. It's saying this is one of the components
Yeah,
of
it was the
different
dominant.
peoples
It was the
that
dominant base.
contribute to that area.
Yeah, that was the
Right,
dominant base component in the area. That's it. That's the component that even mixed with the Coptic component, the Eurasian component that had them people looking more different over after different years. That's the
right,
base substratum of them people. You know what I'm saying? Them the Afroasiatic. Them people. That's where they get their language from. The base of their culture. You know what I'm saying? The pastoralism, all of that. You know what I'm saying?
right. All these related
The
things.
grain collecting. You know what I'm
Correct,
saying?
correct. All these related cultural things
And then
are
and
used to
them
show
people
the
right
relation.
there, they heard not kinky like Nigerian people heard. They got a whole different type of texture heard, and like it's diverse. It go from, you know what I'm saying. If you got the her chart, Trish, can you show your page real quick? Can you go to Can you go?
Which
Let me
one?
see.
Did you send it to me in Messenger?
Yeah, I believe so.
Are you trying to make a point about Ethiopians' hair?
No, I'm just saying about hair. Period. Like hair in North Africa. Like period.
Right, right. So, like, when here's the thing. It's psychological with Black Americans, right? So just take you guys yourselves out of the picture, right?
We are taking ourselves totally out the picture. Like I know, you know what I'm saying. I
So,
know I ain't no Egyptian at all. You know what I'm saying.
right. So when you talk about the average conscious community person per se, okay, when they see those pictures and they think Somali Ethiopia, it gives them hope that
Not
Black
really.
people built the
That's a mind reading
pyramids.
fallacy.
But
That's
right, that's the thing. We're not here to necessarily be custodians of what
And
they're potentially thinking.
that dude wasn't an Ethiopian or Somalian. That's a northern Ethiop. They live in Egypt. Like those that phenotype is still there. Like I can show you modern pictures of people that still look like that in Egypt right now.
And that's a mind
Okay,
reading fallacy. It's a mind reading
so check.
fallacy to say what anyone else
What
would think
somebody else is gonna
or
think. Yeah,
feel based on what they experience. We don't
right.
know. We need to say what
Because so
another
out
The
of
person
hundred
has.
percent, out of
the
100% of people,
the Coptic patriarch of Egypt right now, the Christian Coptic patriarch of Egypt is a person of that type of you know what I'm saying, phenotypical stature. He looked like that dude. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying?
Let me just
Yeah.
add
So
on.
out of 100% of people that come by this info, yeah, there's going to be a percentage of them that they're going to run with a piece of this to say whatever narrative that they got going, right? That's always going to happen. It's unavoidable. But then there's also going to be people that do understand and that go into delving into learning more about what's being said here in these different migration routes and these shared cultures, and so obviously shared genetics and the related aspects of the DNA, so on and so forth. That's not even, we're not even talking about skin related yet. There's other
Yeah,
components.
even the early Natufians, when the early Natufians went into the Levant, they looked like them dudes. You know what I'm saying? And they intermixed with the people that was already there that migrated earlier out of Africa 16,000 years ago.
So
Right,
you feel the early Natufians had an afro?
Yeah, they had afros, early ones, especially based off their genetic markers. A lot of them
Do
even
you know
had
what area?
L2. A lot of them had
What
L2
you,
markers. I mean, they
do you
didn't
know what?
have afros. They didn't have afros like a Nigerian, but they had loose, curly, frizzy type of hairstyle.
Okay, now when you say frizzy, I get that. Loose curly is different than tightly coiled.
You had varying degrees.
Yeah, you got various
No,
degrees.
I understand, but in general, listen
Go
to what
to
I'm saying.
hey Trish, go to Andre Walker hair typing system.
Where would you say Natufians area? What area they come from?
They come from the
You talking about
Levant.
North Africa?
They came through North Africa, but they settled in Levant.
Yeah, the Natufians, from my understanding, is from the Levant.
But they
Yes,
came where they come from though.
they came from the
That
Cambrian
area, that
culture from North.
West Asia.
They are multiple. Go to Natufians. Go to Natufians too, bro.
They
Natufians
came,
are from West Asia and Levant, as far as I
yes,
understand.
yes,
Yeah,
Chief X, you're correct. But their predecessor paternally, because they were mainly E. You can go look at their genetics. They come from the Cambrian culture that split from that EZA27 marker, which created the later
What culture is that? Just give me the land area. I'm not.
the
It's a
Cambrian
million names.
the Cambrian groups came from the Northeast Africa. They came through Egypt before settling there, and they mix with the
Okay,
Amerindian
so
group.
you're okay. But what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. Let's just keep it simple.
Hmm.
Natufians are from West Asia, Levant area, correct?
They are from West Asia and North Africa.
Okay, they're from North Africa now, but they came from West Asia, correct? I
They
just
came,
read this last night.
they
I know in
came
my
from
mind not.
they came from West Asia and North Africa. They don't come from one place. So
Okay,
here's the
so
thing, Chief X. Go ahead, brother.
even they
so
have mixed. Then they have mixture of people too, because some of them are a mixture of Iranian
I
farmers,
just
and then
but
some
listen
of
to
them
what I'm saying.
mixture. Yeah.
I just looked up Natufians 2 nights ago, and in my head, I know my mind's not playing tricks on me. It was like West Asia, Levant. It didn't even say North Africa.
Right, but here's this what I'm trying to tell you, brother Chief X.
But
If you
now they
look,
could have filtered there. But I'm just saying, when you look it up, it
yeah,
will
yeah,
tell
yeah,
you West Asia, Levant. They don't mention North Africa.
yes, they were West Asians. But what I'm trying to say is, could you guys hear me?
You
Can
breaking
you hear
up?
me? Oh yeah, could you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they were West Asians. But what I'm saying is the population that made up the Natufians was a component from North Africa, a
How
component
long
from
ago was this component from North Africa?
the component that they can descend from. They descend from North Africa probably 5,000 years before they leaked into the Levant and mixed with basal Eurasians. So here's the thing. If everybody can go online right now, type up Natufian genetics, and it clearly shows. It even says 6.8%. First, they tried to say Sir Williams, the anthropologist, said that they had chromatism, which was closer to Negroids in the early 1800s. Then they turned around and said the Natufians had no African component. But then they just said recently, I think from 2014, that 6.8% of their DNA was Omatic. I think 68% was Bedouin Arab, 28.3% was North African, and 10% was from Anatolia. Look up their genetics. Look it up.
Okay, well, yeah, that's not no black person.
Got a question. I got a
Come
question.
on now.
I got a
But
question.
See,
look,
that's what I'm
we,
saying.
we can't use
Yo,
we
I
can't
got a
use our ranking system we got
But
now.
the Natufians,
Listen.
but
Come
the
on now.
Natufians,
Come on.
but they went through
Hold on
stage
1 second.
too.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
They,
I got a
You
question for
guys got to
Chief
stop.
X.
You got to stop saying that. I know we can't use our concepts. I'm not saying that. Just flip it in your head. When I say black, you know what I mean. Come on now.
No,
The
I got a
Natufians
question.
was West Asians, basically.
They were what?
I
Yes,
have
but they had a. But yes, but this is what I'm saying, brother Chief X.
and look
They
up and Chief X,
paternally.
look up the wiki article right now. It does mention North Africa because it has the Chris Eric source right here in this
Okay,
article.
so North Africans still look like West Asians still.
Not the earliest
They've been
component.
flowing into there. West Asia,
Not the
Levant.
earliest ones, not even the earliest Iberian Maroons before they even changed how they look.
Okay, Iberian Maroons. I just read the DNA on that last night on the video.
And did you see that large chart that said 35% sub-Saharan Africa, Europe, and
No,
Hazalite?
it said sub-Saharan Africans only came into that genetic pool 1,200 years ago.
Oh no.
No,
Hold on. Now we finna hold on. All of us are gonna speak. We're gonna speak. Brother Chief X, if you're on your computer, it'll be dumb for me to say if you're on your computer. I want you to look up Iberian Maroon DNA right now from 2018. If you get a chance.
It's on
Are
Wiki.
you talking about the modern population?
We can use Wiki.
No.
Wiki friendly on here. You can use Wiki, whatever.
Okay, let me just say this so you can know what I'm talking about. Ngozi, what I'm talking about in that video I made last night about North African prehistoric DNA, that was an article you gave me.
I know, but listen, I'm not talking about.
And in that article I'm talking about, it said specifically, sub-Saharan DNA did not enter into that until 1,200 years ago.
Listen,
how old is that article? What year is that?
2018.
No. Listen. That article. Hold on. That article says that from the Arab slave trade, but it also talks about a portion of it that exists in there. I want you to look this up right now, please.
Yeah, dude. We talk about the earlier ones too.
Listen.
Okay, so are you saying forget that article is wrong?
No,
go to something else.
No, you gotta read it again. Chief.
You gotta read all of it.
I did a video on it. I read it 5 times.
Okay, now look, go ahead and if you guys get a chance, type up Iberian Maroon DNA, recent 2018, and you can see what I'm talking about, Chief X. You can see what I'm talking about.
Even right here, even right here when you can look up Natufians, even on the Natufian article, it say a 2018 analysis of autosomal DNA using modern populations as reference found the Natufian sample consisted of 61% Arabian, 21.1 North African, 10.9% West Eurasian, and 6.8% Nilotic related ancestry related to Omotic people from southern Ethiopia. It is suggested that 6.8% Omotic component may have been associated with the YE, particularly EM 2015, also related to E1B1B, which is E3B.
Exactly.
So basically, what I just heard,
Eurasia. These people
what I just heard was 6%. They're barely that. I'm not hanging on to that.
But listen. Did you listen to the? But listen what it's saying.
Yes.
It's saying the component claim to have been associated with the spread of YE lineages in West Eurasia.
I'm not familiar with.
And it says related in their ancestry. It's that DNA. That DNA that they took. That's ancient DNA. The other shit ain't
right, but I'm not disagreeing
when
that
when they say it's related to the related ancestry, that means it's the base or the basilist DNA these people have. It's their substrate.
Gullah-Geechee, I want you to go
all
to
I'm saying is they have an ancient component, basically.
Okay, but Gullah-Geechee, listen. Go to I'll show Chief.
It's like that's to me. That's like hanging on to some thread for hope.
But hold on. But here's the thing. This is 15,000 years ago. The Bedouin percentage or Arab percentage are not like the modern Arabs. Matter of fact, Khan Reza from gene expression.
Yeah, even Arabic shit. Arabic is an African language.
But here's my thing. Why are we going back so far?
No. Because they're trying to get to a point, Chief. I just want to say something, bro. Listen, there was no allele or light-skinned variant 15,000 years ago in the Levant. Those early basal Eurasians were brown skin. According to the guy from Gene Expression who runs with Spencer Wells, the sister clad or sister population to the Natufians are the people of Socotra and the people south of Arabia. Those people were dark skinned. Again,
okay, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I was speaking. I'm not really talking about. I know a lot of Arabs are dark skinned. I get that.
Right, but this is what
a lot of Iranians and Iraqis are dark skinned. I get that. I'm not tripping on the color tint. You know what I mean? That's like,
You You see the
But
screen though?
but those people come from the same people that come from a certain group of people out of Africa. They're not related. Them people, I can show you, like even on that website, the phenotype website, I can show you what
Well,
the Hispanic people look like, what we look like.
let
We're
me
clearly a different people than them people in East Africa.
right.
Even
So
with that
what I'm
same
saying,
group
what
like
I'm
that.
saying is, it's a lot of humans on Earth that may have ancient components of this and that. That's understandable. Because we all came out of Africa. So you might find populations with
But
a little component of this.
but it really expresses if you really look at the people. Like I could give you that website too, the phenotype website, what would be consistent of certain phenotypes to be in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? These people, man, people have certain looks. Like for real, if you really,
But
we,
look at
we,
people.
Tristan, could you show the brother the Iberian Marusian DNA, and it clearly says 35% sub-Saharan Africa, Yoruba, and
Yeah,
hybrid.
I got the article up right now. Can y'all see the screen?
Yeah.
It says
People got certain limb proportions. Even like Egyptians, they have tropical limb
can
proportions.
you
Hold on. Hey,
expand that? Can you make that bigger? Or are
hold
you
on,
on the
hold on,
cell
hold on.
phone?
Let the brother hit us. You got it, Tristan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm asking, can he expand what he has up?
15,000 years ago.
Can you make it bigger?
And I want to show, I'm gonna show him some of the modern pictures of some of
You see
the
that?
phenotypes that's still in Egypt today.
Hold on, but
So
look.
what it was saying though is that these people, these North Africans, they had African DNA. It said, look, you see it? It says the DNA was obtained from Africans. Shows that these people had no European ancestry. So these were Africans that have all these components.
It says shows that these people had no European ancestry. Instead,
Correct.
they were related to Middle Easterns and sub-Saharan Africans, suggesting
Correct.
that the more people were migrating in North Africa than previous believed.
Right. So there was not a force field stopping people from doing this migrating. And it's shown in the
Check it out,
DNA.
brothers. Well, check it out, brothers. You guys are on a different topic than I am, that I've been talking about. So you guys can continue. I haven't really been talking about anything prehistoric.
Okay.
I haven't been talking about
this prehistoric stuff is speaking to the modern
no,
day.
But listen real quick.
But you said 4,000 years ago. We can go to the Badari. Let's go to the Badari period.
Listen to understand what I'm saying. My whole argument is about everything within 5,000 years ago. Nothing back further.
Go to the Badari period.
Listen to what I'm saying. Let me just finish. My whole point is, within 5,000 years, the people who did the achievements in Egypt, the builders of the pyramids, the Sphinx, the temples, I'm just talking about, I'm not trying to go back to prehistoric times because that gets too confusing.
Okay,
people in the conscious community.
You don't have to.
Let me finish so you can understand. Let me finish so you can understand. My point is to reach these people in the conscious community. The conscious community is only focused on, I'm not talking about us and you, and the conscious community people are focused on the achievements of Egypt and claiming those achievements. That's my focus. Prehistoric times, the conscious community not even tripping on that.
That's another.
There's no problem with that. Identifying as an African, right? As a continental African.
Yeah, because Tunisians are pale and they're African. North Africans are Africans.
And there's nothing wrong with understanding.
But all of them not. But they pale. They pale a majority. But all of them ain't pale. You still have.
There's nothing wrong with understanding.
But I get it. But I don't want people to be thrown off by somebody just throwing out the word African. Because in these people's mind, they're going to, when you say African, the only thing they think of in their mind is a nappy head black person.
I'm not worried about what they think is just a nappy head.
I know that's what I'm saying. That's why I keep saying outside of us and you guys. I'm talking about the conscious community.
I'm not going to be paranoid about them thinking of that image.
Exactly.
Right. But okay, so that's what I'm saying. We on different pages. I'm trying to hold on, because I'm getting ready to go. I'm just trying to slow down, y'all. My point is to reach the people in the conscious community where their mind is at. I get where you guys are at.
How can you say people's minds are?
Well, look, here's the thing.
Okay, hold on. I've been in this conscious community since 1992. I know exactly where people's minds at. I know exactly what I heard Dr. Ben and Ashwa Kwesi say 2 nights ago. I heard them say that those are our ancestors and we need to claim our people and our culture. So I don't want to. I know where the conscious community people's mind
And I
is
don't
at.
agree. And
Their
I
mind is
don't agree
that.
with
Hold
that.
on, hold on, because I gotta go.
Chief,
Hold on.
they're not the only two people in the conscious community, especially today. Anyway, regardless of what you heard them say, you still cannot say what people think and how they feel. That is
Who's
a
talking right
mind
now?
reading fallacy.
Who's talking right now?
That's Hero Jones talking.
Okay. So what my point is, it's not an art. It's nothing to even debate. I'm just telling you what my point is. I'm not talking about nothing prehistoric.
So,
If that's
okay,
y'all convo, that's fine.
Chief X. Before you go, Chief X, I know you got to go. Let me ask you a question. Now, we're gonna go into dynastic period. Could you hear me, Chief X? So,
And I just heard Hero, and tell me if I'm lying, Hero. I seen you in your comments on your video. Somebody said that the ancient Egyptians had Levant, Near East DNA in them, and you disagree with them. Why did you do that, Hero?
No, I didn't disagree with anyone. And I know what you're talking about. In fact, the response.
No, you didn't clean him up because you wanted him to go on thinking that the Egyptians was
There
black.
go another mind reading fallacy. There you go again.
You denied that ancient Egyptians had Near East DNA. No, you're lying right now, nigga. You lying. You lying, and don't make another video about me. You lying ass bitch.
You go.
I'm out of here.
There you go again, trying to tell me. Hey, let him have his bad behavior. Let him have his bad behavior so the people can see how much of a coward he is. And he just lied on me. That is not what I said in my comments. And the statement I gave to the brother he's talking about, I gave a very vague statement that can mean anything. So he just lied. And then he just got upset at me because I put out a video that exposed his lies from yesterday when he said he never challenged Team O.S.I.R.I.S. And so his feelings are hurt about that. So he can call all the names he want. He can do all of that. I'm not going to get on his level. He's a 50-year-old man acting like a 19-year-old little girl. Let him have that.
I just wanted to ask him a question.
Names today in your video, and I haven't even spoke to you. Keep that shit real. So me insulting you one time right now don't mean shit. You.
All right, relax.
Hey, no, hey, let him talk. Let him.
Chill out, man.
Just chill, man. Just chill. Let's keep it to the information.
Yeah, let him talk.
Yeah, chill out.
Let him talk. Let the people see how this guy really is.
I just got some questions for him. That's all.
I haven't insulted that guy one time. All I've done is spit facts about what he said. Then he lied and said he didn't say that. And what did I do? I went straight to his own videos and let the people hear his own words. So what is insulting about that? I called the man a liar because guess what? The man did a video and he lied. The video I put out today shows that he lied. That's not an insult. An insult would be if I called you a bitch like how you called me one.
Yeah, that's too bad, man.
My thing is he don't want to address like how landscapes change and how, like, for example, the Bantu expansion. Before they moved into what was that, Central Africa, wasn't it like Khoisan type of people there?
Yeah, it was hunter gatherers.
Yeah, they was up there.
So the Bantus that moved into Central Africa, if there was a people there before them, right?
Yes.
So the Bantus that live in Central Africa now, they're Central Africans.
Yes.
Even though they didn't start there.
Correct.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
So he's really dancing around that. Okay, regardless of who's in Egypt now and who was there pre-dynastic and it don't matter. What matters is who the Egyptians are while they there. Times change, landscapes change, migrations, all kind of stuff goes on. The point is, we know that people who with dark skin are Egyptians.
So let me ask you all a question in here, everybody. So we know that America is predominantly what race?
White.
So we know that. So they're predominantly European. Now, when it comes to the achievement of who constructed this country, what hands helped them, even though they were the majority?
Right.
Black, Japanese.
Exactly. But a 400 to 2, because America was created in what, 1776, established America. After 1776, a lot of our ancestry, America is technically, from a technical standpoint, is 246 years old. So let's talk about this. There were a lot of sub-Saharan, I'm talking about North America. not from the first population that was stripped from the late 1500s to the early 1600s, going to Brazil and other parts of the Caribbean or whatever. Let's talk about this. Regardless to America being predominantly so-called white, some of the hands that helped build this were the so-called Africans in America that was kidnapped. Black hands
Correct.
or so-called black hands built. Are we going to discredit that as if
Right.
it wasn't a sub-Saharan African presence there? So let's talk about Egypt. For us to listen, could I say that the white man plays a role in African American family house right now, in our households right now? Do you guys believe that?
Say that again.
You said one.
Do we all believe that the white man plays a role in our household right now, even if he's not there?
Yeah.
Do we believe? Exactly. I'll tell you why. People work for his establishment. They live under his establishment. You even have some genetic components that's part of him inside of you biologically. Are
Yep.
you going to disregard that?
Even our surnames and shit.
Even your surname. So what I'm trying to say is those light-skinned Egyptians that my brother X is talking about, those people had ancient melodic components in them. They just like modern Egyptians do. Not to mention, it'd be disingenuous to denounce a nilotic presence. And I'm not even talking about a Cushitic or Afro-Asiatic presence, but a nilotic presence that was in that area during the time when they were dealing with the infrastructure and building that stuff. I don't give a fuck if it was 13 of them and a bunch of other Mediterranean people. A sub-Saharan East African presence was there. It was there. It wouldn't matter if it was 15 of them. It wouldn't matter if it was 30 of them. There was no barriers to block out the Nilotes that was south of them. It wasn't. And yes, some of
Correct.
those people, some of those other groups of people in Sudan were bringing other Black Sudanese up there as slaves, but people ain't peeping the scene.
You had people.
Those were others.
You had viceroys up there that was
Yeah,
like.
that was
But they were considered Egyptian. Like what's the brother name?
His name was Mahiri.
Mahiri. Yeah.
Yeah, but period. Yeah, but here's the thing. Even if you look at the pictures with the Nubian slaves with chains on their neck, those Nilotes, people are not peeping that those were other Sudanese people bringing another group of Sudanese people to them. And at this time, Sudan didn't exist, but those people were from the same so-called country.
Yeah.
What's the largest country in Africa? Is Algeria. It
Yeah.
used to be Sudan before the split, right? People don't know how big Sudan is. All those people in Sudan wasn't the same. Some Sudanese or people of Sudan were Egyptian citizens. They were part of the Egyptian establishment. And I'm just saying, if we go back into the civil rights movement, if some of the people in modern day Luxor, like those Philaean people or Phila people, or people that they call the Gurna, Gurna, or people in Upper Egypt, they wouldn't be sitting in the front of the bus in the establishment in North America. So I'm just saying, even I wouldn't give a fuck if it was a Swati skinned Arab from Iran or Bedouin, they wouldn't be sitting on the front of the bus. So I'm just saying, like this, did we play with this button? Now I'm not saying that we Egyptians. No one never said that. Those people are they their own people.
I was saying, and it's true. Like when the Ottomans and all them took over, and then the British took over, like the real Egyptians, like the original Egyptians, became second class citizens. You know what I'm saying? Even during the Greco period, you know what I'm saying? They was like the original like Beja type people. You know what I'm saying? They was pushed. You know what I'm saying? As second class citizens in some instances.
Look, a large influx of Eastern Mediterranean population has been in Africa for 7,500 years. And they brought that light-skinned variant there even before the Greeks got there. No one's denouncing
that. Even before then.
You even had a back migration of Eurasians from the Near East coming in 23,000 years ago. So it's hard to determine the skin range for what makes up Egypt. Because to this day, these people got different skin barriers, even if they're genetically the same. Because skin does not determine differences in genetics. Because if you look at the Adam and Eve people,
can you show some of them pictures, Trish?
Yeah, let me see.
If you look at the Adam and Eve people, they look just like tropical sub-Saharan Africans, but genetically they're closer to Asians. So you can have people in Egypt who look something like Northern Sudanese, but be genetically closer to the people in Northern Egypt. So skin color isn't really an issue in that country that we call Egypt. But go ahead.
Yeah, and these modern pictures right here. Look at that. That's an Egyptian. These are Egyptians right here. They look very, you know what I'm saying? They got Eurasian looks. They got, you know what I'm saying, the original Basil, you know what I'm saying, Ethiopic looks. You can't say that's not them.
Man, Egyptians use Nubian.
They got very different hair. Look at that hair. Look at that.
Yep,
You got
varying degrees.
different types of kinky hair.
It's varying degrees.
That's not like the, you know what I'm saying. If you ain't a fuller in West Africa, you might not have that type of hair. You know what I'm saying? That's not common. That's not common in West Africa.
But look up the modern people in Luxor. Look up the modern people in Thebes. I mean, if you guys go to if you can go, Trish, if you can go on Google right now and type up people of Luxor, look at what they look like. Look at that brother, that Sudanese brother right there, that northern Sudanese brother. Look at his hair. Look at his hair. Hair texture is not a determining factor of what makes Africans happen. Look at the people of Luxor. Look at how they look. That's Upper Egypt. That's not Sudan. Those are people in Luxor. Go to images.
Yeah, it's going.
Go to images.
I clicked on it already.
Okay.
And of course, the people up north, they're gonna have more Eurasian affinities, but they still this is the substratum of who them people are.
These are the people of Luxor. They skin range. Look at them three brothers right there. I used to use these pictures on Facebook all the time. Them three brothers at the top sitting in front of the monuments. These people are Egyptians, just like the people in the north are Egyptian. No one's denouncing that. This is not Nubia. This is not Sudan. This is Upper Egypt. Even in that article, if everybody read it about the northern Egyptians and that area with the Turkish and Iranian genes, it said as you go into Upper Egypt, the genetics may change. It tells you in that same article that people trying to read. Those are people of Luxor. Those are people of Upper Egypt. Look at him. That brother right there, either he's northern Sudanese. Look at his hair texture. I don't know. The people that call us black in North America was so-called European. 300 years ago or 500 years ago, the ancient Yoruba did not call themselves black.
No, they didn't.
So how do we determine what the fuck black is? When the black term was made up anyway to describe people who are what? Black skinned. Did you know that the Spaniards and Portuguese called Native Americans who were red skinned negro? You want sources on that? Anybody that was dark would have been called negro. Now you got the banner to call yourself black. So these people got this skin tone, and they was living in 1935 trying to drink, or 1900s trying to drink from the fucking white man water fountain. They would have beat the fuck out of one of these people from Luxor in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? They would have beat the fuck.
Shoot! They would have beat the fuck out of a Jew with light skin with curly hair, with a curly fro.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Fortune brought it out on that platform of Garfield. They used to call Jews Negro. You know.
Now go back real quick. Go back real quick to two different brothers. It was two different. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
You see that ranges? You see that ranges right there?
Yep. That's range right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good picture. That's a good example.
Yeah. That's a very good example because either way, both of these people have a DNA in common with sub-Saharan Africa, whether or not.
Yeah, they very distinct from West Africans.
Correct.
Even though they got certain similar affinities, of course, because they both come from E markers. You know what I'm saying? But they have diversity amongst their cluster. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna give Nisha 77 or any of them racist ass North Africans, but Africa is Africa. The only people that's hung up on that is them insecure ass North Africans talking about people trying to steal a fucking culture. Listen, the African American represents a mosaic of Africa, West and Central Africa overall. We're not Yoruba no more culturally. We're not Igbo anymore culturally. No. We're not Akan no more culturally. Shit, my mother's Fulani, but I'm not fucking Fulani. That's her culture. I don't live no fucking Fulani culture. I can speak it, but I don't live that shit. So what I'm trying to say is that you can talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about being over here in North America. It don't even fucking, white people do it all the time. They talk about Samaria. They talk about Greece. Is the British going back and forth about arguing about the ancient Greeks? They call them motherfuckers the fathers of Western civilization. And these are British people calling the Greeks that shit. Study biology, all you see in biology is Greek terms. Bios,
Correct.
biology, study of life, bios. Look at the term, the nomenclatures that they use. Like, ain't nobody hung up on that shit. Being a so-called Western Sudanic Creole or African American, you could talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about in Africa. We're not trying to claim Egypt. I know we not, like Chief X said, we are not. But this is why we are here to teach the people the diversity of Africa.
Correct. Yep. Instead of being stuck on people not understanding or whatever, just put the information out there. People, you can't save everybody at once. You'll die trying to do that. So you put the information out there, and then people will start to understand. Like, oh, okay,
now
there's a mosaic.
Y'all know what that does? Y'all are leaving hope for
right. So it's like the whole thing is with his argument is basically he doesn't want people to associate or have this pride. But the thing is, there is a such thing as a sort of pride that you can have, right, for your continental brethren, knowing that you don't have a direct relation, right? You don't have to necessarily culture jack. You can just say, I'm proud, and there are some of my components that are in those people. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that you're trying to take over the culture. You just have pride.
Right. Hey, Trish, can you go to that picture all the way at the end of that dude with the fro? Can you see the little small picture at the bottom?
And let me ask y'all this.
It's a dude with a fro sitting down. Right there, yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. Has
right there.
anyone ever claimed that sub-Saharan Africans...
You see this dude right here?
In Egypt?
Say that again, Hero.
I said, let me ask you guys this. Has anyone ever claimed that on Team O.S.I.R.I.S that sub-Saharan Africans are the people who created the monuments in Egypt?
No, that's the thing. Like,
because that's his argument as well.
Right. That was never our argument though. So he was wrong for saying that was our argument.
You see this brother? You see this brother right here? Y'all know who this is?
Who is that?
This is Osman Digna. He led the modest war
against the Europeans. He beat their ass. They called him Imam Mahdi.
Yeah, he was the Ahmad. Yeah, he you know what I'm saying? He was from Egypt. He from southern Egypt, but he was all through northern Egypt too. His daddy, look how he looked. His daddy was a motherfucking Turk, but his mama was a Bija, you know what I'm saying, Bija woman. You know what I'm saying? So he linked to his Bija roots.
But let me just say this too, Kane. Even with the Natufians, and they talked about the 6.8% being the base of the paternal lineage that drove them. That's a sub-Saharan. I wouldn't give a fuck if it's 2%, 3%. It's the sub-Saharan component. So if some blacks want to embrace the few population that did come from the South before they got us, what was the population that already adopted, that adapted into those North African climates and became a cluster, it was sub-Saharan African from the Eastern corridor. It was. If it was a majority, they came in contact with people that adjusted North Africa. They still was there. Ain't nobody hung up on that shit, yo. North African race.
You breaking up, bro.
I said ain't nobody hung up on that shit. The North African race hung up on that shit. Half of the North African races, motherfuckers, got melodic ancestry. Look at the genetics.
Right. They more ashamed. They're ashamed of these components that we're talking about.
We're talking
about our components, right? Our meaning shared components coming from sub-Saharan Africa that are in these people. They're ashamed of those. So that's where their hatred comes from. So you don't want to really get onto that bandwagon, because then you're going to be practicing a form of self-hate where you can't be proud of your components, even if it ain't a person that looked like me and you that was right there, doing the shit. It was our components, you know what I'm saying, that went into making these people. So you can, be proud of that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So you shouldn't be on a campaign to crush that. Now, I could see if you point out instances where people are culture jacking, but you can't throw everybody in the same boat. Like, they all have the same shared mind, like he was trying to do earlier. You can't do that. You got to give people the respect that they're gonna have varying knowledge levels and opinions about this kind of thing. And some of them do understand this stuff. You know, if we went through life thinking, man, they're not gonna understand this, so I shouldn't talk about it, then how would the world be? You know, even more worse than it is now. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, the term black.
that's now cipher. That's now cipher.
That's now cipher. That's right. The term
Yeah.
black was a title given to people with dark skin. So I'm gonna use that racist shit the way North American or the ancient Anglos or whatever, half of the medieval Anglos used it. So if I see a black ass Indian with straight hair, that nigga black. If I see a fucking Bedouin, a Mahiri Arab with just dark skin with straight hair, he black. If I see a coarse-haired ass Nigerian with dark skin, he black. Because again, it's based off skin. It always was based off skin. What
right,
the fuck?
right.
So
It wasn't saying particularly Central West African. It was saying anybody that was from the ilk of sub-Saharan, which range in tint and all that other shit that we talked about, and hairstyle and all that.
Hey,
But it's
Trish,
all gonna be considered black.
Hey, Trish, can you go to that phenotype website again? Go to the Egyptoid.
Egyptoid.
Yeah.
Egypted.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm not sharing, am I?
No, you ain't sharing. No.
Hey, I wonder if old boy X still thinks we agree with him.
Yeah, he has a whole nother purpose. So really what we exposing here, because we coming with actual sub-Saharan components that contribute to these people. We coming with some phenotypes
These people right here.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
These people roots come from them same people.
Right. What I'm saying, we coming with the DNA. We coming with you could mistake somebody from that area for somebody like one of us, you know what I'm saying, by the naked eye or whatever. So now that solves that. But then now the argument becomes,
and it ranges. Like go to the map.
And it ranges. We got to give the genetics credit for having range. And then the other thing is, you know, he's going to move from that argument now to, well, you got people that are culture jacking and they saying that it's, you know, a West African that that did these things. And it's like nobody is saying that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be specific if you're trying to come at somebody for violating that principle or whatever. But you're not just going to lump people in and, you know, and play like that.
Go to the phazon. Go to the phase, the one at the bottom, but they say phazon or something like that. No, yeah, Siwa. Go to the Siwa dude.
Siwa?
Yeah. Yeah, see, you know, look where they at on a little map.
Yeah, they in there too. Yeah, it's all of these people are in this area at the same time, and they are mixing.
That's that Cushitic component. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so these are Africans. You know what I'm saying? And they have some sub-Saharan African.
And if you look at the Sadi and the Filahin or the Fila or Filanin or the Fila group or the agricultural farmers that they call peasants or even some cops, they look like this. These people, they have diverse features in Egypt, man. Again, this man right here.
You're breaking up, bro.
I said, if you look at the Fila, the Filian, or the Fila, the agricultural farmers of Egypt, or the Sadi, or the people that they call peasants, the Fila, Fellah people in the Fila zones, or if you look at some of the Coptic Egyptians, they look like this to this day, and some of them look even lighter. Egypt's skin tone ranges.
And look, he goes, look on this phenotype chart, look on this website, at the bottom it says similar types. And look, that northern Ethiopia is right there.
Yeah. They all in the range.
Of course, man.
They all in the range. So I mean, one basically he has a social issue, you know, with people that he thinks are going to claim that West Africans, you know, made Egypt, right? And these other people are invaders or whatever, you know, whatever the narrative is. But it's like that's a minority of people to be going up against. That's a minority of people. Why not just teach them? Why not just teach them instead? Why not just teach them instead?
But Tristan, dig this right quick, King. West Africans ain't pure either. Go to Yoruba.
Right.
Let me show you something right quick. Let me go to Yoruba. We're gonna use Wiki, but the citations goes to the real article, scientific articles, right? Go to Yoruba right quick. I want you to read something real quick. Go to Google and press up Yoruba so I can show you something. Them niggas is a combination between Paleo-Sahara from the Green Sahara, Mesolithic tropical West African hunter-gatherers, and ghost population. So let's read. Let's read about who the Yoruba are. Let's read it right quick.
Yeah. I'm saying, in the Natufians too. The Natufians had L2. We can look up the mitochondria L2 article.
Some of it was in the pre-pottery groups. Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
hold on. You on the Yoruba? Peep this.
Yeah.
Go to genetics right quick, Tristan. Let me show you something.
I'm looking for it right now. Where's genetics? Oh, here we go.
Look at what it says. Watch this. Read it if you could, my brother.
EM2. Okay, so genetic studies have shown the Yoruba to cluster most closely with other West African peoples. The Yoruba are largely found within the E1B1A1 subclade of EM2 haplogroup, along with the Iwe, Ga, the Damalinke, peoples of West Africa, and Cameroon. More recent genetic studies have also found the presence of West Eurasian admixture in Yoruba population. Around 8.6% Eurasian DNA has been found in modern Yoruba populations. The Eurasian DNA possibly comes from Ibero-Maurusian, an ancient North African group, which the Yorubas get 12.5% of their ancestry.
You know who they could have got that from too, Ngozi?
What's that?
You know the Yoruba, they fuck with the Hausa a lot.
No, here's the thing. No. That EM2 marker is not indigenous south of the Sahara. When they went and looked at the graves in Cameroon 8,000 years ago, that marker was absent in Western Central. A lot of those early Paleo-Saharan, even if you go to Kipian. Now listen, Tristan, everybody, if you press that number from what he was reading from the citations, it'll lead you to the actual scientific article. So if people use Wiki, make sure you press the number so you can go to the actual citation.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is this: even when you look up the Bantu, right, or you type up Kipian, it clearly says that the Kipians, before those Bantus went down there and mixed with those old hunter-gatherers, those people, the Kipians are a fragmented group of Iberian-Maurusians. That's all they were. As they went south.
Yeah. You're right. Because even in the Roger Blanche article that I shared, remember they said the Ionian people was like a mixture of them and an Ionian people who was like the ancestors, the predecessor of the Nigerian people.
Correct. So anybody with E1B1A1, that paternal marker is not south of the Sahara. That shit was in the Green Sahara. That's why Ramesses III in Egypt paternally had EM2. And look, they just found recently a branch of EM2 in Arabia without the late downstream mutations. All of the mutations of EM2 south of the Sahara is late downstream mutations, which show that the split, without the split or without the downstream mutations, happened in early North Africa. Now we got to go back to that scientific article called People in the Early Green Sahara, which is telling you a route of where a lot of these people were going to in the early Green Sahara before they were split. This shit easy. So even in West Africa isn't here. I wouldn't care if he was Bimileke, Hassan, Yoruba, Igbo, Mindi, or even before the Mindi groups, but when they were the Wagadu or the Shanake, we have to look what was going on even before those establishments. So if you happen to get E1B anything, E1B is not indigenous south of that Sahara. It's not. It's not.
No.
Especially West.
Yeah, man. So,
and then they talk about cultures, and I get what Chief X saying. He's trying to tell people like to embrace West Africa, but being an African American or Western Sudanic Creole, none of us on this line is Yoruba anymore. We don't live a Yoruba life.
We're a Creole. We mix.
We're Creole people now. So with that being said, if you Creole, how could I talk about Yoruba, Igbo, or San, or the Bantu speakers, or you're not that right now. We're Creole people.
Correct.
You descend from that, and I'm not disregarding our ancestors back home, but what I'm saying is we descend. It's like me trying to say I'm Fulani. I can speak it, but I don't do nothing Fulani. My mother Fulani. I'm Creole. My father is a Western Sudanic Creole person. He's African American. Why would I denounce that, bro?
Yeah, I should just gumbo like a big pot of
We
gumbo.
we're Creole people,
Yeah.
but we embrace we embrace Sudan, we embrace West Sudan, we embrace that. I see my brother, Bunde went back and he embraced his ancestors with the Tine. My cousin went back, you know what I'm saying, and embraced that, and they part and partial. I would never
Can,
pronounce it. They
can
part and
you go?
partial.
Can you go to the West Sudan person? Trish,
Hold on.
West Sudan. I mean, no, just say Sudan. Let's go to Sudan.
Back on here.
Yeah.
Sudanid.
Yeah. You go. You got a
And
West.
then look at the map. Yeah.
You say West Sudan on there on the little blue.
No, Central, East, Bobo, Senegalid. Well, I guess Senegalid would be West then. Senegalid,
Yeah. One.
Bobo, Shari.
Yeah. That's us though.
Oh,
That's
and
us.
Guinnessid. So yeah, Guinea. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's us though, right there.
Yeah, so it spread from west all the way over to east, all the way up into lower Egypt, lower Kenya, whatever. So yeah, you definitely have all these components, man. And we are Creole, and there's nothing wrong with saluting these other people who are also Creole, right? That we share that in common with. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that, and understanding that we are not directly descended from Egyptians, which Team O.S.I.R.I.S has been saying that for years before Chief X got on his tirade that he's on right now. So we don't have to play games and get mixed up in the muck and the mire of what people think and who's being a vulture or whatever. What we do with Team O.S.I.R.I.S is we just spit the facts, you know what I'm saying, and we go over the information, and then the people that are able to understand it, they can understand it. People that's at a lower level, they can begin to climb, to understand this stuff. And it's always going to be troll people that's just going to take a piece of it and just run with their narrative. But we don't have time to be worried about those small percentage of people. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's time to expose them for a particular incident or whatever at the time. But nah, like overall, I'm not about policing people's minds and where they get their inspiration from and stuff like that. Now that stuff, that's social, and that's Creole. That's part of us being Creole. We get inspiration from other places. That by the very nature of us being Creole. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with that, and there is a proper way to do it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully people can just learn by the examples that some of us set, you know what I'm saying, and how to give reverence without going overboard and saying that these are your people directly, or trying to write off the other people of Africa. We about the supreme diversity of Africa, all of Africa. We not cutting off North Africans from that because they part of that. You know what I'm saying? There's no beef to be had there aside from the racist people that are on either side, you know what I'm saying, of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How many people in here love boxing?
Oh yeah, we all do.
And what's the origin of boxing?
That's
You know what I'm saying? As Americans, I mean, being in a hybrid cultural society,
it come from the UK over to America.
and being in a hybrid cultural society, this is part of creolization. It's a lot of things that people is inspired by. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what I'm saying is, we can't get mad at a few West African descendants who live in America now who's talking about ancient Egypt being them when the British embrace Greece and they respect Greece as classical European or classical European
Correct.
civilization.
Correct.
And they
They
also
respect
call
them
it
as
Greeks.
links in the chain. They're links in the chain. They know that they're not Greeks. They know that they British people, Celtic, Gaelic, whatever the fuck they are. They understand that, and they can still give props to these Greeks and shit like that. So we can do the same thing without getting caught up in, vulturism, culture vulturism and shit. There's a way to do that.
But
You don't have to be scared of that.
He has an agenda though. He has an agenda. That's why he looks at the information the way he does, and he
Correct.
discounts anything that doesn't support the narrative that he wants to run with.
Correct.
Yeah.
I wish him luck on being Ghostbusters and monitoring people's thoughts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna monitor their thoughts. I'm just gonna put information out there for them to absorb. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody wants, as always, we always with the smoke. If somebody want to challenge or whatever,
I
it is what it is.
I get what the brother Chief X is trying to do. He's just trying to get people to be inspired by West and Central Africa. For me, I don't agree with. I think that being a African American, you can embrace the whole continent if you want to, long as
Of
you're
course,
not
including West Africa. So we don't leave that out.
include West Africa.
Right.
Long as you not. I agree with the part when you say you shouldn't try to act like you're them. But again, you're no longer Yoruba either. You descend from that, but you're not that. So with that being said, it's okay to talk about ancient Nile Valley, which is a classical African civilization.
Absolutely. Just like Ouagadougou, we can talk about Ouagadougou and wax poetic about them, and all of that. And there's nothing wrong with that, with giving reverence to these different people groups, or just studying them and understanding, where how we got to where we are now, with all of this diversity in genetics.
Yep.
It's nothing wrong with that, Yes, there are people that's wrong, that's using this narrative of everything is black or whatever. We've seen that percentage of people, and we've gotten on their case too before if they come at us, but I'm not going out, seeking those people and hunting them down,
Yeah, but we already know everything ain't black. Just like Asia,
exactly.
Just like in Asia, you got South Asians, you got East Asians and Northeast Asians. I don't see the Japanese and Chinese going backwards and forth with the people of India because they're all Asian. They know they're all Asian. Just like Africa. Africa does not exclusively belong to black people. That's not science. You also have very fair-skinned people that are Africans. And you also have robust featured people in Africa, short people in Africa, lighter skinned people in Africa, dark skinned, the so-called North African, what they label as Caucasoid.
Tall,
these people,
thin features,
But that's all Africa. These are continents. This is not a street. This is not a block. This is not a city. This is not a country. This is the fucking continent.
Yeah. I was just reading this Soy Kenyatta. He was like Africa diversity has diversity because of the people that back migrated in. You know what I'm saying? He said if you take it away, that the diversity reduces.
Well, Soy Kenyatta, it's diversity because of the back migration, and it's also diversity because human beings spent more time in Africa than outside
anywhere else. Correct.
He said that too. He said it's still a lot of diversity, overall. What he was just saying, period, because of the back migration, it's even more.
Yeah, there definitely was some introducing the back migration because those people came from different environments.
But he said, but he was like basically like he still had like you had the base clusters, even though even if you took that away too.
Yeah, man, it's just so much, but for the so-called people, hopefully everybody can learn from this and accept the diversity of Africa. It's a beautiful thing.
Correct. And don't be scared to enjoy or to research all the different African cultures, all the geographic locations, of Africa and spilling over into Eurasia, you know what I'm saying, as well. There's nothing wrong with delving into that and exploring that. And still, so at the end of the day, we got our African American pride, all of us here, we African American, we got that. But then we also give reverence to West Africa, Central Africa, North Africa as well, right? Bantu expansion south, even pre-Bantu expansion south, the Khoi, the San. We give all them people they just do.
And you can, and as an African American, let me get so scientific so people let me just get so scientific so people won't think we biased. As an African American with your European ancestry, you can embrace the Middle East because the European components come from the Middle East. How about that?
Correct. You got lactose tolerance because of that. You have lactose tolerance. You got grain. You can eat grains and shit like that. Farming and shit like that. all these different groups shared that in common. So we have like these shared larger cultures amongst these different people. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with understanding all that. There's nothing wrong with understanding that.
Your European
Niggas can live in places like St. Louis or Chicago and shit.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
for real.
Like the little British and Irish ancestry. These people represent three ways of groups that came together to form Europeans. The Yemenis, who brought Indo-European, the Near Eastern farmers who came from Anatolia, and the old Mesolithic hunter-gatherers. So if we want to talk about Cheddar Man, we can do that through our British ties. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Facts. True
Man,
indeed.
shit, according to motherfucking National Geographic, I got a lot of that Sardinian shit in me.
Hey, and if you got Sardinian ancestry, that means you go back to them early Middle Eastern farmers.
I mean,
Who was
my Wild Hopper group is G shit. That shit.
Oh hell yeah. You definitely
Yeah, you definitely got some.
Not to mention your Sardinian ancestors were the same people that went into Egypt and mixed with the indigenous inhabitants. That shit is there. So
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know. Yeah. That shit, yeah.
But yeah, man.
Them G's had a presence in North Africa too during the Neolithic period.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we gotta just respect all the genetic diversity, cultural diversity, and keep it while understanding that we African American Creoles, you know, all at the same time. Like we smart enough to understand all this, you know what I'm saying? Without getting caught up. And then the people that is inevitably caught up, hey, maybe they'll learn, you know, over time or whatever. But it's never a reason to make you go against your brother because they ignorant, they don't know yet. You just gotta, you know, give them information and let them take their time to come to it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all we gotta do out here. We're not here to fuss and fight because then that creates a social problem. Now it's you know, fuck this bitch ass nigga and shit like that. It's personal now and shit. You know, that don't really got no place in this. You know.
Yeah.
That's when the ego and all that stuff come out, all the negative aspects that we try to avoid. So we just gonna keep it like that, man. We should go on ahead and close it on out, man. And
I just want to say this back to his question about if a 9-year-old boy see a picture that Northern Ethiopia, they'll see a black man, and that's okay because those type of people were in Egypt, and just as well as the Mediterranean group was in Egypt, they were all there. So it doesn't matter. But that 9-year-old boy, no one's gonna be telling him, "Oh, you are Egypt." With sense, no. This is a population of people who exist in North Africa who was responsible for ancient North African or ancient human achievement. Human achievement on the continent that you descend from. Yeah, not you, but on your continent that you descend from, highly, these type of people were responsible for great human achievement. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. And even if it wasn't for a person that looked like that, like Emperor Selassie, you wouldn't even have the Pan African movement. Pan African movement was idolized after the League of Nations that was created in Africa.
It's all love, man. We good, man. I mean, this is a good bill.
Yeah, man. That was cool, man. Shit.
Man, why y'all beat them up like that, man?
Hey, because it's about the info. It ain't about these social issues that people got, you know, behind the scenes or whatever, and letting that get the best of them.
Man, I was
gonna
trying
remain calm.
I was trying hard because I knew as soon as I spoke, he was going to try to use me as an excuse to run.
Yeah, that's too bad, you know, that happened, man. But the record is there. The record is there. Even before this recording, we already on record as saying all of this stuff before. And it is what it is. We are just more comfortable with the diversity of Africa. And we don't have these complex issues, you know what I'm saying? These insecurity issues about it. That's pretty much all it is, man.
Team O.S.I.R.I.S ain't tripping over no fake ass race because race don't exist. That's a social construct.
Exactly. So the people that's still lost in that, we gonna give them game, and we not gonna beat them up and cross them to the point where we enemies now. That's not the point of this whole thing. We just gonna give them that game that they can go and research over time on their own time. and that's how we gonna keep it moving, man. We ain't gonna get mad and fall out like we saw earlier.
Yeah. Hey, and Gozy, remember that? Don't you know that? Don't you know that Egyptian lady that we talked to? She like Egyptian. She even got a little Turkish in her. But
The
she,
Coptic,
you know what I'm
the
saying?
Coptic sister. Yeah,
Yeah. She said, I'm black.
Yeah, she said yes. She said that on Clubhouse. She was like, a lot of people are anti-black, but yes, I am black. Even though that's what she said. She was a Coptic. So
Yeah.
you call yourself what you want. Shit, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Shit. You pick and choose what club you want to be in. Shit.
It's all a costume. It's all a costume. It's all a bunch of bullshit. So I
Yeah.
mean, hey, want to be black? Hey, be black.
Yes, sir.
Peace and love, man, to the panel, yo. Hopefully, we can continue to build. Hopefully, brother Chief X can build with us, man. Because Chief X, I get what he trying to make the point, but hopefully we can continue to build, man, and do what we do, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's like 90% I agree with some of the shit he's saying, but you know what I'm saying. But
there's certain points of contention, that we just went over those things. So really, it's really no issues on our end, So
Yeah.
we always got an open door policy if people want to build, and talk about it, and that's really what it should come down to instead of these narratives and stuff. I don't really care. I don't care about the narratives.
It's like with Phoenicia 77. A lot of information that lady bring is on point, but it's like what Chief X said when I talked to her privately. It's the character. It's the way she delivers it. It's the character. The bitch is a blatant racist, bro. Phoenicia 77 is a fucking blatant racist. She's anti-black. So the way she delivered that shit, she's doing it to tell you that you're not shit. Period. I watch her little videos. She talks about the mud huts. Niggas in the Congo was doing mud, and people up here was, bro, you gotta watch all this shit, yo. So even though
Chief X shares that.
And we ain't just living on mud huts. We had Dortetchet in Mauritania. Like Mandy people came down from Mauritania. I don't know if you know this, but you know what I'm saying.
But it ain't just that. But what the fuck is wrong with mud huts? Don't you know
Yeah.
it takes scientific, bro. First of all, if you're on the move and you're on the go, it takes skill to create mud huts. There's a lot of different shit going on in the
Yeah, you're
environment that
right.
you're living in.
And they convenient because they keep cool in the heat. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
So what the fuck
immature to
wrong
be
with
bashing mud huts, man.
the fuck? Like, come on, bro.
That's
Like, them
immature.
motherfuckers is crazy, man.
That's part of human evolution. You better respect that.
And yo,
That's the huh?
Somebody said that they'd rather have a plush cave or over a hut. Y'all know who said that?
Oh,
Chief X in his video.
That's speaking from a materialistic point of view, and it's not taking into account the culture and the environment that would make it necessary to have one or the other, because people have both.
every Egyptian was living in a fucking pyramid. They found a whole bunch of motherfucking huts up there and all through Egypt. Everybody was living in pyramids with structures that was built for the Insut or the Pharaoh. So if people really want to be technical, it wasn't no motherfucking monumental mansion cities. Well, these citizens, half of the people in Egypt couldn't even read.
No, they had
they had those underground
shit up there
houses
too. Like them Bijou motherfuckers live in huts and motherfucking tents and
they had
shit.
them underground joints where they dig in the ground and they make like a floor plan in the ground type of thing. They had them kind of shits too. So I mean, that's living in the ground in the dirt.
It's just a disrespect, man, for the people south of the Sahara, like having a mud hut. It takes a just like what I went in on Clubhouse on some fucking North Africa. They were talking about some Somalis. They were talking shit, talking about some Bantus or the pre-Bantus were hunting. I said, bro, it's a science to hunting. It's a science to hunting, just like it's a science to farming.
Right.
What the fuck? It takes skills to hunt. You know how well you gotta calculate before you catch an animal? That shit ain't easy. The fuck
To
y'all.
manage your resources, how many animals in the area and all that, and how much water and all of that.
People crazy.
Out there managing the animals, how much they hunt each other and kill each other, like to make sure you got enough food for the people. Like there's a lot of shit that goes into that.
All human beings all human beings played a role in what we are at today. It doesn't matter. All human beings played a role in the place that we sit today in the world, and we just got to acknowledge that.
Yeah. we definitely caught up in the first world. I'm thinking of that comment he said about the cave. We definitely caught up in the first world, like as if we have a choice. If we was in Africa back then, like, oh, where do I want to live? How do I want to set up my cave and have my TV and shit? Like, nah. You had to make do with what you had. You didn't say, I want to get up and go somewhere where there's this lavish cave or whatever. No, you deal with the circumstances you got and you make that fucking grass thatch roof house or whatever the fuck it is you got to do, dirt, mud. You fucking know not chemistry, but I guess something like akin to chemistry, right? Like you're doing this masonry type shit basically with these different clays and muds and deposits and stuff to make these dwellings. Like all that stuff takes skill. This is all a part of our journey, man. It all got to be respected. So yeah, I don't respect them North Africans that go at at that race angle where it's like, fuck y'all niggas, you ain't shit. You never designed nothing great, and all that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, man.
It's silly as hell, man.
All peoples, like you said, contributed, man, to doing some great things with the circumstances they had, and we happen to be a mix of a lot of these different groups. You know what I'm saying? And we happen to have a lot of the root DNA that a lot of these new groups started out with, right before they mutated, and they still retain some of our stuff. So I mean, it's like, man, we got to just be more secure
Hold
out
on,
here.
I'm finna send you a picture of treads of the Mari people, bro. And they,
Hey, I gotta drop out. Hey, peace to y'all. I gotta drop out.
Hey,
All right, brother hero.
Peace, King.
Hold on, real quick. This shit go. Here we go.
Hey, y'all, I'm gonna fall back too, man. I gotta travel. I gotta drive out of town in the morning.
Oh shit, yeah. We just ended this shit. Then I'll just show that shit tomorrow. Or some shit.
Yeah, this good. We could wrap it up right here because they already seen enough. So
yeah, that was enough. Yeah, we good.
So the people know, man. It is what it is. Team O.S.I.R.I.S is on the horizon, man. We gonna get out of here, brother Geechee, brother Triz, brother Ngozi, brother Hero, brother Carlos. Everybody came in. You know what I'm saying, brother X. Even though he fell out or whatever and couldn't withstand, we gonna still be here when it's time to sit down and talk again.
Yeah, it's whenever, man.
Right on.
Peace.
Peace.